So, Harry, you're part of a show that I think, ethnically, and even beyond that, it's dealing with a lot of different issues. I think, everything from sexual identity to abortion. There's a diversity of characters. What does it feel to kind of be a part of this show that's become this phenomenon? But more importantly, I think it's crossing a lot of stereotypes, just beyond what we've seen on television historically.
Yeah, I mean, you look, Asians play on the football team. Really? I think it's so awesome to be part of a show where the whole world can watch and have a relation towards a certain character. You have the Mercedes, you have a gay character, and then you have an Asian character, and now they put the two Asian characters as a couple, which makes for some interesting conversations and arguments. I look at it as something that is breaking, certain stereotypes. And you have a guy who people always thought in stereotypes like, oh, Asians can't dance, or and they can't do certain things. And I think it's great for the show to allow that for people to see that. And I'm just so happy that people up top, especially with Fox, are really supporting that and supporting diversity.
And I think doing so much that, if I can make my own plug for a moment. So last night, Leanne was kind enough to honor CAPE, on whose board I sit, as we're the organization, Coalition of Asian Pacific's Entertainment. And we've done a lot to help promote diversity in Hollywood. And this year we're actually honoring Glee and their cast for the diversity they've promoted on the show. So, and I know, beyond an actor and a dancer, I guess the triple is producer. There's a show that I know that you're involved with that's become a big hit, which I think it talks, it's very, very Harry Shum and very creative, also with John Chu,
yeah.
And who unfortunately couldn't join us.
And right there, producer.
And I think in a moment we'll have something special to show, but can we talk a little bit about those origins and what that's all about?
Yeah, LXD, which short for Legion of Extraordinary Dancers, and it really stemmed from John Chu, working with John Chu on Step Up 2 when we worked on that movie, and he somehow wanted to battle Miley Cyrus online. And it became this whole thing online where he got a whole bunch of dancers and she got a whole bunch of dancers, and we started this online war and became like this thing we ended on Teen Choice Awards. But from then he just saw like these dancers are like characters, and for so long they've been in the background, and people loved what they saw but never really got to know them. So he wanted to create this thing where it's storytelling through dance, and we wanted to do it online because no one can be like, hey, you can't do this, hey, you can't do that. We're like, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do it how we want to do it. And what's great is that we get like some of the best dancers that people have never seen before, and now it's like streaming on Hulu, and it's been doing great, but still a lot of people still haven't seen it yet. So we're trying to get out there, and we're launching the season 2 the 27th, which is next week, Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, in terms of getting it out there, I think we want to cut to something here to give you guys a taste.
Dance Goes Evil.
So I guess my Hollywood.
Oh, it's on. There you go.
We're back. So I guess my Hollywood pitch is X-Men meets Glee. So,
but no jazz hands. With no jazz hands.
But I think to Daniel's comment earlier, it's about just do it. Just go out there and do it and make it. So can you talk a little bit about how that came into creation? Because I think it's a pretty unique story.
Yeah, it's the visionary of John Chu, and he apologized that he couldn't be here. He's on tour with he's doing a Bieber movie. So go for your dreams. Good, he's Bieber. No, it's great because he's like Sorry, John. He's a great storyteller, and he sees as you've known from his previous movies, he's great at having a vision for dance and being able to shoot it so well. And I think what's great is he sees these characters and he tries to put them in puts super superpowers, in the sense of dance is the form of real life superpowers. You're not flying, but you're doing these incredible things. These guys are flipping. They're they're stopping time in the air pretty much. And from there, he just, wanted to create these different stories and put a mythology behind it, which you will see in the second season, and a lot of questions will be answered for whoever has seen the first season. And if you haven't, you can still check it out on Hulu.
Charlie, you were great in that clip, by the way. I said Charlie was great in that clip.
He was. He was the one flipping because you couldn't see his face. He was just going all over.
So, well, why don't we talk about what else is, what else is going on with all of you?
We throw in little suggestions, like hoping that he'll take it in, and then next thing you know, you open the script and you're like, oh, yeah, we're doing that song. Cool. And I think for even even for second season, someone on tour mentioned it and was like, yeah, I watched the show literally because you have Asians on the show. And he's like, really? And he's like, yeah, I watch it just because there's people representing our culture or whatever. And he took that in, and he's like, okay. And then next thing you know, you open the kind of script, and you have this thing called Asian Camp, and and on all seriousness of Philip, when you're talking about little barriers, and I think certain things you just can't get away from. There's going to be stereotypes in this world, period, and I think it's going to bleed into the industry, into the media, that what people put out. And I think it's up to what C.S. Lee he is going up to bat for the writers and be like, yo, like, maybe we should try it this way, and really throwing suggestions out and doing it in certain ways. And I think that's the uphill battle, but I think we just got that. It'll be always constant battle. And if you see the other minorities in television too, it kind of stays with them too, as well. It's just if they're willing to fight for it and go the opposite way.
Maybe, just as some of the most successful Asian Americans in entertainment, just one kind of final thought from each of you for the audience of, what do they need to do to affect the world, to take the next step, and what would you, want to wish them?
Yeah, okay. I think being kind of under pressure, and I want to leave it as that, like being under pressure, which I think we're heading towards, where you have these opportunities to really shine or to really make a difference in the community, is kind of put yourself up to to the wall and like really challenge yourself. And for me, it's been putting up to the pressure and like having to learn things like right away and be like, oh God, this certain day and I have to learn how to do it. Or I have to learn little things, and you end up doing it sometimes. So just really. Pressure yourself sometimes, and you never know. You might come out all right.
3 words.
I like your shirt. Awesome shirt.
Yeah, I did. Drove all the way from here. I drove all the way from here, so from San Diego to go to. Oh no, I mean like to go to the store. To the store. Cool.
Awesome.